I'll call the North Smithfield School Committee meeting of September 19, 2023 to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Lombardi.
Present.
Mrs. Mayo. Here. Mr. Cornell.
Here.
Mrs. Vada. Here. Mrs. Bartimore. Here.
We have five present. We have a quorum. Let's move on to the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's move on to public comment, community comment. Dr. Burns, did you want to say something? Good evening.
So we also had a microphone break, so we're going to.
Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Hello.
A quick message from the high school. Next Thursday night, September 28th, from 5:45 to 7:45, we are hosting North Midnight Open House. So this is an event that we're combining two. It's going to be our annual open house where our current students can meet. All of their teachers will be in attendance. There'll be activities set up. Gym will be open. They'll tour the building. A lot of our current students will be there to give tours. And also we've invited the 8th grade families. So that way, while they're making decisions about where they would like to attend high school, we'd like to show them our high school and everything we have to offer. We'll be featuring our CTE programs as well. We're going to be advertising it in the paper, on Facebook, and I would love to invite the school committee to attend. I think it's going to be a great night. Last year when we had North Midnight, I think we had like 350 people there. It was rocking. Also, the night will end in the cafeteria. There'll be ice cream, and there'll also be kind of like a conference style event where there'll be tables with different student activities. We're going to have a table that's featuring tips and strategies for parents for improving attendance, managing stress. The Prevention Coalition will be there. I think that's it. So you're all invited, and thank you for letting me talk to you tonight.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Could you just repeat the times? 28.
5:45 to 7:45, Thursday, the 28th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'd like to point out that the screen is nice and sharp, so I did not break the camera.
Thank you. And I didn't see anyone else signed up. Correct, Superintendent?
Nope, nobody else.
Moving on to the consent agenda. Anybody have any questions or concerns about the consent agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to reports, Superintendent.
So typically in September, I will outline the goals and priorities for the coming year. These goals and priorities are based on the strategic plan that we presented to you beginning of the summer. So what we're going to do is just outline again what's in our strategic plan, what we've already done, the progress we're making, and where we hope to be. So there are 5 sections. Claire Arnold is going to take 2 of them. I will take 3 of them. And I don't want to put Claire on the spot, but she is very excited about everything that she's going to talk about. And there will be incredible detail. So sit back and enjoy.
So I got the message a few times, not to be too long. So I have some brief comments. Were you going to put anything on the screen?
Oh, yes, thank you, sorry, distracted.
And so our goals and priorities are directly from our strategic plan. And the first goal within the strategic plan is high standards, quality instruction, curriculum, and student success. And so the first bullet that we're going to do in order to achieve our goals is to improve student achievement in all areas with focus on English language arts, math, and science, of course. And to do that, we have initiatives. And so when we look at our initiatives, initiative number one is high quality curriculum. And so curriculum serves as the roadmap for what students will learn and know and be able to do, what the essential skills and knowledge that they'll acquire. The importance of curriculum cannot be overstated. It shapes the educational experience of our students and lays the foundation for future success. We have adopted high quality curriculum K-12 in English language arts and mathematics. We will be updating or refining our elementary math program from Eureka to Eureka Squared. And we'll be doing this with ESSER funds. We're also in the process of evaluating high quality curriculum programs for adoption, and that will also be funded through ESSER. And so we're in the process of that. And so when we think of our curriculum initiatives and when we adopt a new curriculum, we work on frameworks and timelines and lesson planning. And then we do learning walks and have effective practices in place to see is it being implemented with fidelity. We have professional learning and coaching, professional development days, and we will develop and refine our MTSS structure, system and structures, and that's the multi-tiered system and structures but for the school. And so that's where we are with curriculum. In addition to that, we will be looking into some social studies curriculum materials. Also, new social studies standards were recently released. And so we have Natalie O'Brien from the high school and Val Carnavale from the middle school who have been part of that. And they've been at, many RIDE meetings. Natalie actually worked all summer long with the Department of Ed, unpacking the standards and looking at the different types of programs that are out there and if they match the standards and if they'd be a good fit. And so we do have some key folks that are in the trenches with that. So we'll be in good shape. Ideally, I would like to use ESSER funds for that also. Then also when we think about improving student achievement in English language arts and in mathematics, we always focus on evidence-based practices. And so an evidence-based practice in education refers to the methods, strategies, interventions that have been like rigorously researched, tested, proven, and proven effective, and there's evidence. These practices are grounded in scientific research that designed to improve student learning outcomes, and they enhance the effectiveness and promote, that educational, positive educational experiences. And so we develop professional learning plans. We focus in on high impact strategy, professional developments and professional development opportunities, and professional learning teams that incorporate, monitor, and refine our practices. And those are the methods that we use to engage our students in the learning. And then the last piece of that is assessment and data. And so using data to inform instruction is just essential. It empowers our educators to really target interventions, continuously improve our teaching practices, make evidence-based decisions, allocate resources efficiently, ensure accountability, and meet our educational goals. And so ultimately, data-driven instruction just enhances the educational experiences for our students, and it helps them achieve their full potential. And so we're always working on that through professional learning communities, analyzing our interim assessment and RICAS data, see where we are within the subdomains and subcategories, and developing interventions and supports. And then based on data, we modify instruction at the grade, class, and student levels. Is that all I have? No. And I think that is it for. Too bad.
That was nuts. I have a lot of pressure on me to be succinct. Yes.
Curriculum instruction and assessment
Chair, if I may?
and
Sure.
student achievement, please.
Thank you. So I was just wondering, I know the science ones, does that be, what's going on with the science? We're waiting for the standards, is that what
So
it is?
we have the science standards, and
Mhm.
so they're the NGSS standards. They've been out for a few years now. What we were waiting on is for the Department of Ed to identify which programs would be deemed high quality. We do have, there are two programs at the middle school level that have been deemed high quality. One is called Open SciEd, and the other one is I'm forgetting, but we're piloting both. And so we should have a decision at the middle school by December. And at the high school, there is one program that it was actually, it was just for biology that is considered high quality. So as they come out, we're reviewing them and seeing where we are, but they are great programs, right? Any high quality program will enhance what we're doing.
So maybe by 2020, end of 2024, you might have science in place, is that really?
Well, as long as the Department of Ed has,
Okay, got you.
given us the list, we don't have any for elementary at the moment. So we're using our FOSS kits, which are wonderful. They're engaging, they're hands-on, but they were not designated as high quality. So
Thank you.
maybe yet, right? Who knows?
Thank
Thank you. Any other questions?
Okay, the second priority area in our strategic plan is safe and supportive schools, which covers student well-being, belonging, and engagement. We gauge this using SurveyWorks data from teacher, parent, and student responses. And the two areas that we really focused in based on SurveyWorks was the positive behaviors. So the main thing we're looking at with this, let me just start. You gave us the ability to hire 3 positions, our deans of students, and oh my goodness, what a difference that they've already made with the school. Their focus is on behavior and attendance, social emotional supports. Claire has already outlined the heavy lift that we have on the academic side and on student achievement. The principal and assistant principal alone trying to meet all of this and focus on the academics and on the learning and on the instruction. It was a constant pull because of discipline and behavior and attendance. And this has allowed us, our schools, to have that extra resource, that extra person to focus on the students. So on the behavioral side, one of the things that we need to do is to have consistency K to 12 for behavior and expectations. Now, granted, it's grade level appropriate, but there are protocols and language and expectations that just grow with the student from grade level to grade level. So when they transition from elementary to middle, it's not a brand new world with different rules and different terms or expectations. It's a continuous flow that just builds as the student moves into adulthood. So that is, these are the areas that we're looking at to develop and to get that elementary to middle to high school behavioral framework, disciplinary framework, and really also focus on not just consequencing the student for an action, but to actually get to the root cause. Why did you do this? Why did you think it was appropriate? Let's work on the behavior. Also, alternatives to suspension. I mean, there are so many things that we could be putting into place that reinforce positive behaviors. Same thing with attendance. In fact, Dr. Burns mentioned that at the end of Northman Night, there will be a little conference on how parents can motivate their kids to come to school on time. This is a message that we have to keep driving home to the students, to the parents, to the community. And why are you late for school? Why are you missing school? And get in there on that early intervention, whether it's pairing up a student with a nurse, a psychologist, the social worker. And again, get to those root causes, find solutions. The kids need to be in school. That is the primary drive. All right.
Thank you. Our third goal is quality staff. And so all students we know will benefit when staff have ongoing access to quality professional development, professional learning networks, and time to work, meet, and plan collaboratively. Professional development in education is just absolutely a critical component of fostering an effective teaching and ensuring high quality learning experiences for all students. It's an ongoing process. It's not a one and done, and it enables educators to enhance their skills, knowledge, and pedagogy. And so we're measuring this through survey works. The percentage of educators' ratings on the domain of professional learning within the survey works will increase from 51 to 75% by the 2027-2028 school year. And some of the initiatives that we have in place are our new teacher induction program. We've definitely enhanced this over the last couple of years, which is incredibly important because of the turnover since the pandemic. And so as new teachers come into the district, we try to give them all the skills and support that they need in order to be successful. And we do community of practice days, we do professional development days, we have mentor coordinators. Each new teacher has a mentor. They get to see each other teach. We'll excuse them from the classroom to see a colleague teach, a veteran colleague, of what teaching and learning looks like. And then we also have other professional learning opportunities. We have a professional development advisory committee, as well as the admin team that develops a wide range of professional learning opportunities for our staff. We've done and will continue to do whole book, district book studies. We do smaller professional learning communities, and that is a system and structure we have in place that any teacher in the district who wanted to facilitate one can. It's grant funded, so for their planning time, they can fund it, and we fund any materials through that grant to that they would need if it's a book study. And then any teacher that goes, they don't get paid, but they do get professional learning units. And so we ran so many over the years, but one example was a third grade teacher who was just an expert in differentiated instruction. She ran a professional learning community after school once a week for 5 weeks, where she shared some knowledge and expertise on differentiated instruction. And anyone who participated did get professional learning units, which we all need for all educators need for certification. So it really is a win-win. And we also have community of practice days. And so community of practice is a big part of our induction program, and it has been a big part, and we're really trying to expand that to veteran teachers. And we started that last year. And so a community of practice day is when teachers are out of the classroom, when we spend the entire day visiting other classrooms and pausing throughout the day to talk about teaching and learning. And so we focus in on standards, practices, and relationships. Those are 3 key areas that we have. And we did it with some, brand new teachers to the district, but also veteran teachers. It is a wonderful day. I always think of it as, and we have multiple days throughout the year, a celebration of teaching and learning, and wonderful conversation. If anyone is ever interested in participating in one of those days, just reach out to me, and I'd love to have you, because we start at the elementary, and we may start in a kindergarten classroom, and we visit classrooms all the way up to 12th grade. So you really get a feel for what is happening in our district and what teaching and learning looks like. So please reach out if you're interested at all. And that's what we have for quality staff.
So communication and community engagement. It got very difficult during COVID to bring in the community and bring in people. That I think we're good now. I should not say anything out loud, but we have a tremendous community with great expertise and resources. We have very knowledgeable parents, very engaged parents. And our mission is to leverage this wealth of resources that we have just here in North Smithfield. So, we will do everything we can to maintain a good flow of communication from the schools to the home, whether it's via Facebook or any other means. In fact, one of the things that I did, and just as an example of community engagement, is that we sent a short 3-question survey out to all the families, and there were really 2 parts of it. It was, if there is an emergency closing, what is the best way to reach you? All right, and then what are the most useful means for the school to share current or general information? And so I think it was about 400 parents responded. And for the emergency, text message was number 1, which was fantastic because you know what? I have not, when I had to close school early for the heat, I did all of the other aspects. I put it on Facebook, I put it on the website, I put it on the Rhode Island Broadcaster System. I sent out a phone message and an email. What didn't I do? I did not do a text message. The parents are saying, number one, 94%, number one, text me, all right? Getting feedback from the families. Phone message number 2, an email. And as far as general information from the school, number 1 is email, number 2 is text message, number 3 is newsletter. But the other piece that we put in for Claire is, question was, as a parent, my top 5 initiatives to enhance or increase are, and there was a list of different initiatives, different priorities. Number 1, extracurricular programs, right? 65% of the parents put that as number 1, enhance extracurricular activities. Number 2 was STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Number 3 was student health and wellness, all right? Helping the parents. Now, one of the things I can say, and I have to,
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
number 3, student health and wellness.
Oh, okay.
Right? Which we hired psychologists, we have our deans, we have, and we're just ramping up those programs as much as we can. And, I don't want to spill the beans on STEM, but I met with a gentleman today and we're recruiting him to work at the high school as our new tech ed teacher. And I geeked out with him for about half an hour. He is so excited to come here. He is fully into STEM. He can do the woodworking and the skills base, but he can also ramp it up and incorporate everything, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics into one skills-based continuum. He's a published author, he's a professor, he's multilingual, and we have worked very hard to recruit him. And so we're hoping I will be sending you the appointment in October and he will be able to start with us the 2nd semester. Number 2 on the list for the parents. So along with that is also leveraging our groups and our community groups and our school groups. Our school improvement teams are fantastic. The school improvement teams are elevated based on state legislation, which is great. They work very closely with the principals and the teachers. In fact, our 3 school strategic plans are all based from work done by the school improvement teams. So it is a powerful voice. Parents are represented, students are represented, community organizations. So it's a great resource. They're not here tonight because we're not ready for the bylaws, but CLAC had its first meeting. And so we're looking at these parent-run groups to leverage them, incorporate them, get the feedback from them. Same with the focus on PTO, creating community partnerships. Again, we have a wealth of resources that we just want to open up the schools and bring them into us. That's the last one? I have one. Facilities. So this is efficient operations. So one of the things that I cannot praise the work Alan CP does enough and how much this district has come in the past couple of years, but we're still continuing on. So over the summer, I showed you pictures about the library renovations, the new windows at the high school with the safety emergency egress in every classroom through a special window. The town council tonight is approving a bid to go out for a generator for NSES. So that just like when you lose the power here at the high school, middle school, it kicks over the generator. We're going to have the same thing with NSES. We had a bid go out for upgrades to the baseball field and put the throwing areas for track and field. The first one that went out came at $600,000. So we put out for bid again. We're finalizing things, but now we're in the sort of the low 300 range. So it was worth throwing that first one away and doing it again. The bid in the engineering specs for the athletic field and the solar, that has been extended out by 4 weeks. A number of companies are looking at it, and they have some other proposals. They have ideas. So they've asked for a bit more time to get some more questions answered so that they can, really give us a comprehensive design, price, and bill that you, town council, can consider. But going forward, we are still working off of the warm, safe, dry from the Department of Ed and necessity of construction. We are not going to file for another necessity of construction. We have permission to extend the one that we have. And the reason why we're not filing for it is because we don't have the committed money up front. And RIDE is not going to give us any further funds unless there is a pot of money that has been applied towards it. A bond, whatever. But what we do have is money coming back to us from the $4 million bond, from the renovations we were doing, the percentage we returned that we can then turn around and reinvest. So we're going to do it as an as-needed basis, as opposed to filing for another big 5-year plan, because we're not ready. The town's not ready. But something that we should address as a group going forward, because again, our enrollments are up, there are a lot of things happening. So, and there are a lot of things that we could be doing, and it would be good to approach this as a 5, 8, 10-year projection. The other thing that I just want to add for the schools in the facilities, one of the action steps is continuing to improve safety and emergency plans. This year, we have started using the ALICE protocol instead of lockdown. There's a whole set of procedures that teachers and students follow. We've done a number of trainings with the teachers, but as far as with the students, that's always been pushed back because we're ready to go and then COVID lockdown. Then we're ready to go and then it's 6 feet apart. And then we're ready to go and then we have outbreaks with teachers. So, and we couldn't get all the schools together. We have 2 people from each school are going to go and get ALICE certified as trainers. We have emergency response teams at each school. With the two people who are ALIS certified training, we'll do another round of teacher support, but then we need to start doing the protocols with the students. We'll introduce it. I can have the SROs, I can have some of the teachers, we can go over the ALIS protocols. We'll notify the parents. Everything is grade level appropriate. We're not going to be asking elementary students to do anything scary. But the students do need to have an automatic sense, just like we're in a fire drill. What do you do? Same thing if we have an intruder in the building, what do you do? And we'll approach it again, grade level appropriate, but it is something that is necessary, and this is the year that we will be rolling it out. And I spoke for longer than Claire, as much of a hard time as I gave her. So, lesson learned. You did well, I did not.
All right, thank you, Superintendent. Does anybody have any questions?
I
Well-
actually do have a question. First of
Okay.
all, I want to thank you in number 2, because I saw the word well-being in there, and you have a lot of the goals of the Wellness Committee, and I think that's great. So I thank you very much. However, you had mentioned K through 12 as far as evidence-based behavioral frameworks,
Mhm.
but in here it says K through 8.
Yeah, so the restorative practices, originally, we looked at it and we did break it up. That restorative practices typically high school into middle school, but there is so much that spills into elementary. And so there's a bit of a modification in there. So as far as the restorative piece, yes, we want to have that incorporated. There are other things that happen at the elementary and the middle, mediation circles and things like that. So there'll be some modification from this. Unfortunately, we were to have an all admin training on restorative practices on Monday, but that had to be canceled. So we're going to have to reschedule something. And I'll tell you why, because this is so much fun. So this workshop, this training is running out of Boston, 2 days, and it's a hybrid. We took hybrid as meaning virtual, online. Day 1 is hybrid. Everything was day 1's hybrid. We went to sign up for at least the day 1 so that, because we can't release everybody, so we were ready to do this. Then we found out that their definition of hybrid is different than ours. Their definition of hybrid is that you can go to Boston, do day 1, and you don't have to go in person to day 2. That's hybrid. So, yeah, and we spoke to the company and they said, yeah, we're not the only one who sort of misread this, because their definition of hybrid was different than everybody else's definition. So we will reschedule that. And again, professional development, we're just constantly looking to improve and increase, and we'll get there.
Thank you.
And you shouldn't have asked that question, because I really went off on a tangent, because it's been such a long day.
Yeah, take your time. Okay.
Thank you.
Chair, I have one question, very concise. Only because it's very near and dear to my heart about trying to get the home track meets. I know the throwing cage, you said the bid is out. Realistically, timeframe, in time for the spring season, or probably not?
I hope so. I don't know, because it's being finalized and I don't have the schedule when they'll be available to do the work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Moving on to item number 4, which is informational purposes. 1, 2, and 3. Anybody have any questions or concerns As you know, we don't vote on this, it's for informational purposes only.
Okay.
My one question, because I know we got the information that the psychologist resigned. Do we have anybody following up on that?
The psychologist resigned. I met with the new potential psychologist earlier in the week, no, last week. She was going to start this week and she resigned. So that's two.
Are we scaring them off?
The thing is, that well, the second one was for personal reasons, but the issue is that they just don't exist, especially at this time of the year. However, we have another interview with a school psychologist on Thursday, and we're trying.
And this was in which building again?
Middle school.
So are we short two at this point?
No, just
Did we
just
short
the
one
one.
at this
Yeah.
point?
So we
Okay.
have one at the high school, one at the elementary.
Okay,
We never had one at the middle school. High
Right.
school did
Right.
public duty, so we're kind of where we were.
mhm.
But we're very close. We hope, think, pray that we're gonna have somebody in place shortly.
So I have a similar question about the physics teacher.
We have a long-term physics teacher for this year. And the posting will still be up because we need somebody for more than this year. So, but yes, we do have a certified physics teacher who is going to fill that position. And again, a very difficult position to fill, especially when resignation happens a couple of days before school.
Mhm.
Well, it's good to hear it. Very nervous.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on to old business. Lisa, do you have anything on the budget? Great. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion's been made. Second. Seconded. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it.